I'm really, really hoping this is a case of I could have went for your heart or even your head, but I went to the side of your ribs because I need them to trust that I am one of them. Because then I'm gonna save the day or something, because if Isha actually went for a killing blow there, and that's what happened, friendship ruined. Granted, I understand the whole Quincy dilemma versus, it's like, okay, yes, sure. Bro, my boy could have ended this fight within the first 2 minutes. And no one can deny the fact that Ichigo easily could have went for a killing blow, but he didn't. And had he not been pulling his punches this whole episode, I mean, ultimately, I think we can all agree who would have won in that fight. But the fact that the initial shot, I thought he hit the building. Like, I thought he aimed at the building or something, you know? Like, because it looked like a building falling apart. And the reveal that it was his damn ribs had me shooketh. I'm sure our boy pulls through, but, it ain't looking good as it stands. I have full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my Flunka thought to end this Bleach greatness over there exclusively. So episode 30, pretty big milestone, all things considered, given many people didn't even think this would ever get adapted, let alone get a proper 4-core adaptation with extended scenes and everything like that. So the entire episode, it's basically just we're screwed. I mean, look at the previous episode. Sure, we got a hand that's kind of protecting the Soul King, but what the hell is a singular hand gonna do against a man who can apparently see most things? Sure, we got a bit of a jump on him, but not enough that was gonna really change too much. You have Ichigo being preoccupied with some friendly rivalry, and everything else we try to do just is falling flat on its face. The man who's kind of keeping everything together is draining his lifespan to basically keep that whole thing active. Like, you knew it wasn't going to be good, but I wasn't expecting it seemingly to be, I'ma absorb my father and take all his power level of chaos, as the end of the episode confirmed. I mean, after the credits, that is, of course. It's just not looking good. On the bright side, and on the flip side, it is wonderfully produced, so the end of the world and the apocalypse level threat that we are dealing with, there's no better way to look at it. The initial fight with Isha as well as Ichigo was insane. There's so many times that, like, Ichigo would be rolling or flipping, and just you could keep up fully with the animation. The in-between frames were working overtime to really make it feel like characters were running around. And the destruction of buildings and floors and everything like that, just so cool. Hell, look at that scene with, like, I don't even know what to call that. Was that quicksand? Was that supposed to be water? Whatever it is when it sucks in the group. Just so wonderfully produced. The entire arc is just looking magnificent, and it feels like clearly this was a passion. Like, there's no other way to put it. It's a passion project through and through. And the amount of detail and attention to detail being put into every nook and cranny, from character expressions to character animations to, like, the fact that it's not often, I'll say, I think ice-based attacks are, like, the cooler visual elements. Because often, I think fire gets more attention because it's easier to represent visually. My boy's out here with essentially needles that are in the form of snowflakes. Starts as like little snowflakes, then have the needle point. So freaking cool. Everything about it just, I love Ishta's attacks, which is probably what makes it extra painful when my boy's ready to attack and then just... I'm telling you, it's the fact that it looked like a building that was falling apart and it turned out to be his body. That is beyond messed up. Like, of course our boy's gonna pull through, but how? Like, what's he gonna do afterwards? Because here's the thing. I think it would be ridiculous to claim that Isha would have won had Ichigo not pulled his punch. Because he literally says in this episode, why didn't you go for me? You had a killing blow here. But because they're friends from his point of view, and like, hey, like, you shouldn't be doing this. If he would have just connected, the fight would have never got to that point, and we'd be having a completely different discussion of, oh my god, did he really just kill Ishta? I really think, and this could be hopium, it could be. He does feel genuine, but it could be because there's two reasons for this. One, there's the side eye from the one member, like, yeah, we trust him now, but should we really trust him? Like, that's kind of the impression. But the biggest is what they say, like, hey, like, you know, you are one of us. You went and killed someone who used to be an ally, if not a friend. Yeah, you're one of us. You couldn't probably do that if you did an arm or a leg, because that would be not a killing blow most likely. But to the side, it looks pretty deadly. I mean, it was getting close to the inwards of his chest too. It could be a situation like that where he has to prove his worth so then he can do something behind the scenes. But what can he really do when the man can see and choose all fates? Like, it's, even if that's the case, is that even going to do anything? I don't know. Hopefully he lands somewhere where he can get some nice healing in, but otherwise I don't see what the hell we're going to do. But that's kind of the fun and exciting part of an arc like this. At the end of the day, Bleach is what's basically at an apocalypse, end of the world level threat. And at no point does it really feel like, yeah, we got this. No, like, the only reason you would say that is because you assume Bleach has a positive end, where the characters do triumph and they overcome all odds. Sure, most series like this do end up doing that. They don't go for the completely bleak, sad ending. As a fan of those, I always do welcome them, but it usually doesn't happen. And I think it shouldn't always happen. It should be a rare thing, because then everything would just be too bleak and depressing. And a show like this gives me the impression they will triumph. But it's going to be very difficult. And the thing that I like is I don't see how they're going to do so, because everything they throw at the Quincy King, everything they throw, like, our MC has a hole in his side. All of his allies are basically kind of screwed or winded right now. And the ones who aren't are basically watching a dude get his life consumed. It doesn't give me the impression that it's very easy to see how they're going to overcome it. And that's exciting, because even if you assume the natural outcome is they will, there's not an easy to predict answer as it stands. And that's some good writing if you ask me. Now, I've only, well, I'm not going to say only. I read all of Bleach up until this arc, because I wanted to watch the anime, right? And I never watched or really read Bleach before that. So, for me, I don't know how this arc looked in the manga. There are some people who loved it initially as it was, some people who really thought it was rushed. But even though I'm technically anime only for this arc, I could easily see how, even though I can't predict what is anime original because Kubo decided to write and flesh this out, it's very easy to tell how an author who is either getting burnt out or rushed by their editor departments would have to really condense a lot of this. And it's understandable why this anime is such a godsend, so you could properly flesh it out. Because there's so many things active, and it would be one wrong chapter and forgetting a character or going back to it would really ruin the pacing. But I think the anime is doing a great job, even though it is some BS and it ain't looking good for our characters. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. Theories if you got any. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Ben Liu, DJ Samuel, Taco Tuesday, Benjamin Henderson, X Nico, Nugzio, Fuzzy, and we also have Octavia Hutchins. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you all have a good one.